I get started, and I start doing this.
Head down.
Head down, head down, head down, head down,
Yeah.
and I never look
And
up
you're
to
just
the audience.
reciting it.
So, I go to the events, you've seen me at the gala, right? I have no idea other
Yeah.
than somebody handing me an award, and then
You're off the
I
fly, you lose your
it's on from
yeah.
there, like, I was the when I did my final speech as the president the second time, we had a gala, and, uh, and I asked the staff just jokingly, "Can you write me a script?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be bothered and, emotional, all that crap." And, she wrote me this script, I looked at it, I stood up in front of the audience, and there's gotta be 300 realtors in the room, so I invited my best friends, the whole world. I threw it over my shoulder. Paper going everywhere. I'm like, "I don't fucking need
We're
it."
going from
We're
scratch.
going from scratch, and I just started talking.
Yeah, it's more natural though,
20
like, to
for
do it
me
that
it
way.
is. Yeah, for me it is. 20 minutes.
I did Toastmasters for a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, and I thought that was actually really fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Eh, I guess if you're into it, like, I look at, public speaking as necessity. Like, I
Yeah.
don't get up and do it because, "Hey, I wanna be" this I'm doing, it helps with public speaking, right? But
Yeah, but it's also different, like, we're in a room with the 2 of us, and it's
controlled
just
environment,
yeah.
right? So, there's no heckling, but I've got some great stories from public speaking that one day I could just sit and do a whole episode just talking about the things that people have said to me during my speech.
Yeah, I wish I kept going with it, but I got too busy with, the
Mhm.
everything
Yep,
to
absolutely.
commit. It's like once a week I'd go for
Was it really?
yeah, it's once a week, and I think they were, like, 2 or 3-hour meetings or something like that.
Wow, may as well go to AA.
Hmm. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, but, I would go back one day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
interesting.
neat. It was like
So I know a bunch of people that have done it, and we're off track already. Like we haven't even
yeah.
we're not even on the subject matter yet. But talk to me about Toastmasters. What's the purpose in it? Is it just to make you better at public speaking?
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
Really?
Mhm.
Sounds like a racket. Don't you just get up in front of with a microphone and start talking to people?
There's a bunch of different ways they do it. Like, the meeting's very structured.
Is it really?
Very structured, and I
Oh,
wasn't
I would
expecting
fail
that at all.
miserably at that then.
It's very structured. There's, like, a meeting starts, like, somebody bangs, like, a
Oh,
what's that thing called? Like, a
gavel.
not a gavel, but they're called, like, a lectern,
Okay.
like a podium type looking thing.
Yeah.
You get up there, and then they have, like, somebody has when you're a member, you're working through a program.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're leveling up, gaining, like
Momentum.
kind of, but it's like you're working there's different categories you're working on. So it's like, okay, Greg is working on a project with the this and this in mind.
Okay, so they give you the subject matter.
Uh, sometimes
Oh.
not.
Oh, okay.
So like if you've worked on a prepared speech,
Yeah.
you'll come in and you'll say your speech, and there's people who are grading you in there that day from your own group.
Right.
They're set aside to grade you, but then also there's like a free flowing period in each meeting, where that is off the cuff.
Oh,
And
I
there's
like
an
improv.
it's kind of like an improv exactly,
Okay.
to the point where sometimes they pull topics out of a hat. Table topics, that's what it's called.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Um,
We do that every week.
it's called table topics, and somebody might come in with a box of things
Ooh.
like hats, um, whatever, like just random objects,
Right.
and you've got to go up and talk for a minute to two about whatever object you've picked.
So one of my favorite sales tactics is pick a random item in the room,
Yeah.
give it to the person who I'm teaching, and tell them to sell it to me.
Oh, I've seen that in.
I don't know why I learned it from one of the coaches that I follow, and I think it was actually Mike Ferry that did it the first time, not Tom, but his dad Mike, that I saw it, and it was like, you got 30 seconds to sell me on the value of this number 2
Yeah.
pencil,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, and you're
It's
like,
something exactly like that.
and realistically, it's great because it gets you thinking on your feet.
Yeah.
Right? It gets, because objection handling in sales, which is what we do, is probably one of the biggest things we have to learn, right? Like you get kicked in the teeth, and how do you rebound from getting kicked in the teeth? Or somebody says, what if or what about? And you have to be able to think on your
So
feet like that.
that's the what I always gathered from it was the big part of it.
Yeah.
Is the you've got to talk about this, you're gonna stumble. How can you get yourself back onto a good train of thought?
Oh, that's awesome.
It like honestly, dude, it was really fun. It just demands a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
And then
But
they have, like, regional competitions you can enter,
that
and
was what I was gonna say is, like, it becomes more
I
down the
think
road,
yeah,
right?
I think you can get
Involved in
pretty
it.
involved in it is a good way
Yeah.
to say it, yeah.
And I guess if it's your thing, or you do it for a living, or you're a VJ, or you're,
Yeah.
a public speaker,
Yep.
or, that would be great, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I just like grabbing the mic. Give me the mic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wing
I
it.
love cordless mics. They're the greatest invention ever,
Yeah.
right? I can walk around a room. I can, like they they used to get peppered with questions at our annual general meeting, like peppered. And I'll never forget, we used to have this guy, I'm not gonna mention his name, and anybody who's listening who, was at that AGM, you're gonna laugh about this. So I'm standing up there and we're going through the budget, and I'm the finance chair at the time, and I've only been in organized real estate for a couple of years. I'm about to become the president. I'm gonna get sworn in at the end of this meeting. And I'm giving a presentation on the numbers, and we were working on an MLS change or something like that. It was a big project.
Mhm.
Like we were spending a lot of money. This guy gets up and asks me a bunch of questions, and I was getting irritated. I'm like, this is all clear as day, spelled out in the thing.
Like, you
And
weren't listening.
I was tuned him out. Like, and I love the guy. He's just one of those old guys that just is set in his ways, and I commend him for it because, I don't handle that crap well. So he says to me, you said it upstairs. He says to me, "How do you know?" And I looked at him in front of the entire room, and I looked at him and said, "Because I'm wicked smart." Like, that was my answer in
Mm.
front of all of the people in the room. Well, not only did it stop him, but it broke some of the tension that was in the
Yeah,
room over this finance.
it just cut it.
It was just the timing of the moment, and I still look back on it to this day because it takes me back to, what's his name saying it? My boy's wicked smart." Right? That's where I pulled it
Mm.
from, and I just applied it to myself. And I'm not wicked smart. I'm, an
Yeah,
average
it was just
Joe,
the answer you
but the
had.
answer I had, and it was perfect, but that came from like, that kind of stuff is the confidence that I got from learning how to public speak.
Yeah, and I think that's also, again, part of that Toastmasters
Yeah,
thing is,
yeah.
like, just
I wish I had the time to do that kind of
I
stuff.
think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I
But
probably would.
talking about projects,
Yeah, oh, well, he's getting it. This is the link.
this is it.
This
This
is
is how
it.
you segue.
Segue.
I thought we would talk about one of the biggest challenges that I think, at least I end up seeing, and I think you deal with this as well, is there are always, I don't know, 10,000, 9,000,000, whatever the number is,
Yeah,
things that you want to add to your business, fix in your business, change in your business, right?
yeah.
I called them little projects.
Some are little,
Yeah, some are little,
some are not.
some are not. I know you're dealing with a big one this week.
Yep.
Um,
Which has morphed into two, which we can talk about.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Um, and I think that is something that again, earlier on, I always felt, yeah, you'll have more time to do these during the day. I'm not going to be bogged down with this other task, and I'll have plenty of time to implement these things, to do this. I'll fix that up
Yeah.
next week when I have time.
Uh,
And I think they were always like an extracurricular project. And I think they stay
oh,
an extracurricular project that you have to actively find time and make time for. Something like this.
you took the words out of my mouth. This is that project for me, right? Like this is that
One of
that
many.
one of. But this is an not this isn't a necessity to the business.
No.
I look at it as, for me, it helps. You know. When I release this to my staff, and because I've never, told the staff, but I've never shown
Yep.
them where it is or anything like that. When I release this to them, and if they go and listen to it and subscribe, etc., then great. But it's been a fun task.
Hmm.
These are the ones that are easier to get behind. It's the big ones that are more
I
challenging.
got you.
I re
Implementing a
Implementing
whole
everything,
new
right? But
system.
it's not just about implementing. Like, for me, the gala
Mhm.
that we just talked about, the golf tournament,
Oh,
right?
that's a
The
big
golf
one.
tournament's coming up in 2 weeks, and I'm almost there. Um, but it's every morning I've got an hour worth of stuff to do on it, here, there,
Holy
there.
hell.
Oh, yeah, every day. 100%. A lot of it's going back and checking, make sure I've done this or ordered this, and all that stuff. Like, there's my kitchen table's covered in boxes right now.
Well, the upstairs tables are covered in
That's the prizes, and I've got more at the house,
got you.
right? So, um, like those things take time.
Yep.
But you know that there's a cutoff date with those, right? Like, I know I have to be
Yeah,
ready July 17th. I have to be at the golf course at 9 o'clock in the morning, setting up,
ready to go.
getting ready to go, right, with my volunteers. It's the stuff that gets out of it that I can't do.
What do you mean?
So, our phone system.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're switching phone systems. That's part one of the tech talk that we were having. So we're switching phone systems because I've got literally five different phone systems here, and then in Dover, Simcoe, and Port Rowan, I actually have three different internet providers. I've got two different phone systems. I've got analog or digital phones in house going out on an analog signal. So I've got all this mishmash of equipment. So the guy who runs the building here for us in
Mhm.
in Broderick, at the Falls office, he calls me and says, "Listen, I've got a solution for you, and it's not going to cost you a fortune." I said, "Okay, I'm willing to
Yeah,
talk.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears." I said, "It's just got to be easy. Like I can't.
Yep.
I don't have time for anything complicated right now." I said, "No
And
problem."
realistically, if even if he said it's gonna cost a fortune, but it's gonna be quick, I think you would have been like, "Okay, let me hear it first."
Yeah, I wasn't gonna turn him away because it was an extra $1,000,
Sure.
right? So we ended up spending about $2,500 total for this new phone system.
Yeah.
And we had some of the new phones, but it's all cloud based, so there's
Yeah.
no phone in the office. Well, that's fine and dandy. That's all out of my control. I can't program phones. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how to do it. I went around, plugged them into the walls, and he took over my computers and tested it.
Mhm.
Fine and dandy. Everything's working until we got to cordless phones. When we go to install the cordless phones, and they don't want to connect because our
Oh.
technology in the ceilings is interfering with the cell phone or with the cordless phones. So we ran into a
You mean
whole
like the Wi-Fi on site?
yeah, the Wi-Fi on site was interfering with the base to the handset system.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we figured out how to get around it, you know, plug and play and, working through it with each other.
And that's one of those things that you have to start all you're like, "Okay, I have no idea what's going on, but I gotta kinda learn this now."
I was forced into a
Yeah.
situation where I had to not only, troubleshoot, but kinda improvise on the fly as to
Mhm.
how it was and to be honest with you, like, it was a bit of learning, a bit of Google, a bit of this,
Mhm.
and doing all this stuff. But it opened up the door to my tech problem, which was the Cisco problem that I was telling you about before, where my phones are now more advanced than my tech.
Got
So,
you.
to make my phones be able to do what they're programmed and properly able to do,
Yeah.
I need new tech. So basically, we've gone back to the modem and replaced everything forward.
Oh.
So all my access points, all my routers, all my switches, everything's brand new. And it's using that Ubiquity program that I was telling you about. But let me tell you, when you can get into a program and it helps with having Dover and Simcoe and all that, I can troubleshoot from my phone.
Well, this sets you up good for your
Oh,
trip.
dude, not only that, like I can walk up to my rack and using not artificial intelligence, but
NFC?
I can't remember what it is, but augmented reality. On your phone, the app that comes with Ubiquity, you hover over top of the devices. So let's say
And it'll show you which ones.
switch, it tells you what it's connected to on on the back end. You
Whoa.
put on glasses, whatever you look at, it'll tell you what it's connected to. It is I sat, yesterday and my mouth was just like jaw wide open. I was so over the moon impressed with what I could do from here anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. My phone system, I can make phone calls from anywhere in the world, and it looks like I'm phoning from St. Catharines.
That's pretty sick.
Total slick.
But
Total.
I think what you just showed is oftentimes these projects, you're like, "Yeah, this is like a 2-hour project," and you start pulling on the thread,
Oh, they morph.
yeah, to a 2-day project or
Yeah,
a 2-week project. So
yeah.
how do you keep on top of these little things, and how do you prioritize them?
I think for me, it's
'Cause
I
there's always little things that you can be like, "Ah, man, I gotta build out this and this for my email list. I gotta
yeah,
build this out.
yeah,
I gotta change this." There's, like, always process changes or just things that you're like, "I could do this to make things better for me, make things easier for me."
100%. I think for me, it's I checklist everything. So for me, when I start a project, I usually have a notebook somewhere.
Mhm,
It's the one time that I actually use paper because I
mhm,
scribble and I
mhm.
start to draw it. And as much as I can do it on the on my
I
iPad,
agree.
there is something
Pen
about
pen
having
and
that
paper
piece of
is
paper to do that stuff
mhm.
with. So I start there, right? And then like sometimes it morphs. Like this one was a morph. Sometimes it's you do it enough that you put the process in place. So our gala, short of coming up with a theme And,
Most of it's pretty plug and
most of it
play
I
now.
know, I plug and play, right? Like,
Yeah.
I call the guy, say, "Hey, I wanna change the menu a little bit," or, "I wanna do this," and it's 20 minutes and a half-hour site visit,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. It's when I get into the new stuff and I'm not an expert in it,
Mhm.
and what I have found is that it's so hard to en kind of grasp everything that you try to grasp a little bit of something, and then you end up with this problem of, I've got a little bit of knowledge across the board,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not an expert.
So how I guess not how, but when should a person running their own business flip the switch from doing that to saying, "Ah, I'm just gonna pay somebody or hire somebody to take care of this."
Yeah.
Because then it's not taking me 10 hours learning this at, in my extra time. I can pay a guy, he'll do it in 2.
So I looked at it this week and I was talking to my phone guy and he's like, "I gotta get you we gotta get this sorted out, blah, 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 blah."
Mhm. I know sometimes, like, time is
Time
the
is
factor,
sometimes a
right?
factor,
If
right?
it's
Like,
urgent, you're like, "I just gotta get this done. I don't have time to hire
yeah,
somebody," but
yeah. So the tech's a perfect example. I could have gone through the system. I could have stripped the system out. I could have, learned
Mhm.
how to plug and play through Ubiquity because it's so, user friendly. And then I thought, I'm going to drive around. It's going to cost me, 2 days, three
Yep.
days, 4 days, whatever it is. It's a week of tech upgrade. I'm going to lose my mind. And at that point, I'm like, why am I doing it when somebody who is experts at it? And I think this is the one of the big keys is when you hire an expert, it doesn't matter what it is, right? It doesn't matter whether you're going to the doctor, you go to your accountant, you're going to them because they're the professional,
Mhm.
right? I'm assuming that their training is going to make them faster,
Right. Yep.
right? So that to me is
So
one of the
it gets
biggest
you up and
factors.
running
It
on
gets
something
me up and
faster.
running faster.
Yep.
It allows me to do what I do best,
Mhm.
which is, in my mind, run the organization.
Mhm.
I mean, that's, touting, but at the same time, I think that it's one of those things is I kind of decide what is my profit making activity. Is
Yeah.
it taking me away
If
from
this takes me 10 hours, what could I have done in those 10 hours to offset the cost of this?
100%? I think that's where a lot of people get caught up.
That is that's a huge hurdle and a lesson to learn and get over.
Yeah.
Um, and it's one that I've started to really, really like it's solidified itself in my mind. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing I was trying to get to is at what point should and I think it's always sooner than people really like
Yeah.
realize.
I would agree.
At some point you're gonna be like, man, I don't have enough time in a day um to do all of this or to do all of my things to the level I want them. Like something there's always a sacrifice.
Yep.
So whether it's you sacrificing sleep
Yep.
because you're
Which
like,
is usually me.
I'm just gonna work 20 hours today,
Yeah.
sacrificing time away from home, like sacrificing whatever it is.
Yep.
Um, I think at some point you gotta find somebody to just be like, hey, I got this project.
Yeah.
You do it. Can you do this as long as it's gonna take you?
So one of the world's biggest service websites was built on this premise. Fiverr,
Fiverr, yeah.
right? Fiverr is the king of I can do it faster, cheaper than you with way less stress,
Yeah.
right? Like, it just is such a simple concept.
Mhm.
You get people to offer services, bid on services,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I've probably spent a few $100 on Fiverr.
So I've never
Just
used it, but
it's actually, you know what?
the last couple of weeks I've started exploring a few different things because in my head I want somebody to kind of almost start helping us out with this side of things.
Yeah,
There's somebody else who I want uh, somebody to start running the social media side.
yeah.
And I think all of that takes a lot of time,
Oh, yeah.
right? You've gotten to know sort of what to do and you can always figure it out, but it's easier if you just get somebody to do it. And that's when I've been like, okay,
So
I gotta start checking Fiverr and Upwork and
I'll go one further on you. At what point do you say AI can do this for me? And I can build AI to do this. And what I mean by that is, and I talk about him a lot on this, and I listen to him a lot, is Tom Ferry.
Mhm.
Tom Ferry built his own AI.
like his own custom GPT or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they still
So he just dumps material into it over and over and
Right, but
over.
it's not clipping anything for him or posting anything for him, right?
You can do anything with it. He can build his to post. Like once you've got
Really?
the base AI, you can do all sorts of stuff with it. And this is where I think where business is going to end up having to have a mental shift because, and I don't know. Let me just see if I can find it because I was in here the other day. I don't know if it'll come up because oh, it does. So I was thinking about the podcast and what we were going to talk about, and I had the CEO of everything in my head, right? And this is a perfect conversation to talk about it. So as an entrepreneur, what do you think your roles are? And this is the list that I came up with. Creator,
Mhm.
media buyer, administrator, real estate agent, listing agent, showing assistant, et cetera, market analyst, runner, CEO, COO, sales manager, copywriter, client concierge, executive assistant, bookkeeper, accountant, recruiter, training and development, tech support. That is my list of
Therapist?
yeah, that doesn't even include that stuff. Like when you get
Mhm.
drilled down to that, that's just what I do on a daily
You
basis.
just listed, like, a dozen different jobs, like,
100%.
completely different jobs.
100%, and it's next to impossible to make the determination when you're gonna get away from being that role. You can't get away from being the CEO and president.
Mhm.
You can't, for the most part at our size, we don't have a COO, that's me, right?
Yeah.
I've just hired a tech company because I realized that, as much as I'm a nerd, there are way bigger nerds than me
Right.
who do it way faster,
Mhm.
way more economical, and are and where I think the other thing that we kind of as entrepreneurs get stuck in is how much time do you spend researching to learn how to do something, to buy something,
Yeah.
instead of picking up your trusted person who I now have a phone guy and a tech guy who happen to be brothers, by the way. Um,
That's
yeah,
handy.
yeah. One lives in St. Catharines, one lives in Woodbridge, like, whatever. But these guys work together. It's the same as my accountant and my lawyer,
Mhm.
brothers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Weird. Never even thought of that until just now.
Mhm.
But like those guys, I trust them to do what's right. Right. Like I don't make legal decisions for myself. I don't
Well,
make accounting
it's
decisions.
actually a very interesting point that you bring up, though, because it gives you to make the decision to start outsourcing tasks,
Yeah.
gives you a reason to start supporting other small businesses and to start
True.
making these connections
Yeah.
and to start saying, "Hey, I'm leaning on you.
Yeah.
You're a pro.
Yeah.
Build a little
Rapport.
rapport, a little connection." Like, you meet people all the time. I've met people who, like, you start out just working together, and then you're like, "Hey, I actually kinda just like chatting with you."
Yeah.
I know you did that with your lawyer.
Yep. Yeah, Mark and I. It's funny because Mark messaged me yesterday, and he goes, he was yammering at Sue about something, and I said to him, I said, listen, you talk to my wife more than you talk to me these days. He goes, yeah, I like her, I love you. I haven't told her that
I think
yet.
there's times where he hates her.
Oh, there's times where you don't like me either. Don't
Yeah.
worry. But you know what? Like I'm in the process of now. I've got an accountant. Now I've got
Yeah.
a lawyer. Now I've got a tech guy. Now I've got a phone guy. Right.
Mhm.
I've got a marketing lady that works for me. I'm in the process of thinking about bringing in a paralegal to do the legal stuff for the
Yep.
brokerage.
Yep.
Right. We're going to get to the point where we have the property management. Like we're going to have this little
Mhm.
network of group of people. I'm building basically a referral network without ever calling it a referral network,
Yeah.
right? And it's
You're
great
putting
because
a little fence around your people and saying, "Hey, come play in my yard."
yeah, 100%. And I think that's important for people because like I give advice to my staff, right? Like I give them real estate advice, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm also the first guy that says to him, "She gotta wait. I gotta go call Mark. I gotta go talk to the lawyer because this is
Mhm.
way beyond my expertise." And I
They
think,
say you gotta know when to hold them
oh yeah,
and know when to fold them.
yeah, 100%. And there's times where you have to walk away. Like there's times you have to walk away from what you've got
Mhm.
and just say, "Not my job. I can't do this."
Yeah,
Right?
beyond my scope.
Yeah, way beyond my scope. And that happens a lot in my job because there's a cutoff point where a transaction or something is going wrong, and you just say, "Hey." I got to get somebody else involved,
Yeah.
right? And so that's kind of forced on you sometimes. And I think that's the aspect of it is sometimes if you don't make that decision, somebody's going to make that decision for you.
Yeah, it essentially just
It becomes part
becomes
you
part of
you
it,
don't
yeah.
have a choice,
Yep.
right? Like like marketing, social media, right? Like you can do it, but are you doing it to your best potential.
Yeah.
So there's a video, you'll see it on Monday that comes out, and I did a source of business
Okay.
track, because I track it, right? So, when people tell me, we record it and we put it in our system, and then I can pull it out. So one of the sources of business is social media
Like, is this for the whole office or just
for
like
the whole company. So we track it. So when a deal
gotcha.
comes in, how did you meet that client?
Yep.
Are they a personal
Mhm.
referral? Are they your sphere of influence? Are they family? Are they
Sure.
whatever? Social media and open houses are two of the
Are those 2 separate
categories.
categories?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So between January 1st, 2024 and June 30th, 2025, one sale from an open house that was
Say that
reported
again. From January 1st,
last year.
2024?
Yep. To June 30th, 2025, so 18 months. One reported sale from an open house, one reported sale from social media.
Whoa.
So my message, again, going back to, you know, projects and stuff, is everybody is doing all these projects. They're trying to do open houses. They're trying to, expose this and do that, do this and do that, which is great, but it's not doing what your money making activity is.
Which kinda hammers the point of hire somebody because your money-making activities
Yeah.
ideally are pretty clear.
92% in 2024. No, 96.4% in 2024, 92% in 2025. Year to date
Mhm,
of our business comes from three sources: personal referrals,
mhm.
sphere of influence, repeat. So to me, when I'm talking to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I gotta go do my social media. I gotta go do this. I gotta go
Yep.
do that," and you can see they're in a bit of a tither, right? Like
Mhm.
they just don't have enough
Well,
time
I
in the
think it's
day.
also because that kinda stuff is pushed on you
100%.
sometimes, and even these little projects,
Yep.
like, somebody well, we talked about it the other day about, like, you go to a conference, you see something, right?
Yep.
You get an idea, and you're like, "Oh, man, that would be really cool to implement." Whatever that thing is,
Yep.
right? Maybe it's, like,
Piece of
giving
piece of
cookie
tech,
sure, or,
right?
like, I'm gonna send cookies to whatever it is, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You're like, "I'm gonna do that," and all of a sudden, you go down this rabbit hole that you're like, "This is gonna be really cool. This is game changing. This is
Yep.
revolutionary."
Yep.
You pour your heart and soul into it, you devote so much time into it, but it pulls your focus from, like you said, the money-making tasks,
Yeah.
the stuff that matters. Um, yeah, it's really interesting.
I just don't. I think that we could do everything.
Well, this topic came to me because I was thinking about, okay, like, I've had a few projects that I've wanted to implement since earlier this year. A few little things I'm like, "Oh, I gotta get to doing this. I gotta get to doing this.
Yeah.
I gotta get to doing that." Um, but I've also not I haven't put them on any sort of pedestal. I'm not like, this is a life-changing
Yeah.
type of project. To me, they're all like, "Hey, when I can get to it, cool." And over the last little bit, it's become, I should just get somebody to do this for me.
Yeah.
They could probably just, whatever the task is, do it.
So I think some of it comes down to things beyond your control sometimes. Sometimes it's money,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Like, so like when you start outsourcing, you don't necessarily outsource because it's cheaper. You're outsourcing because it's taking you away from what you want to be doing, or it's beyond your scope, right? So
Yeah, but also like you said, you're outsourcing with the intent that it's not pulling you away from
yeah,
the thing that makes you your money.
absolutely. But it's also sometimes you're limited by the fact that you don't know enough,
Yeah.
and it's faster, right?
Yep.
So you have that mindset when it comes to it, but there's also times where you got to just say, I simply can't afford this. I'm going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's as much a struggle as knowing when to do it, because now all of a sudden, if you're a small business owner, and I got a friend that owns a cookie place downtown St. Catharines. And I don't want to screw up her company name, so I don't want to say it. And I only know where it is. It's Sugar and something. And she was a realtor, worked for us,
Mhm.
and said, you know what, I can't do it
Mhm.
anymore. I love to bake cookies.
Mhm.
So she opened up
It's
this
her
little place.
passion,
It's
it
her
drives
passion.
her, yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
lights her fire.
Great lady. Parents, I know her parents. Like she's really good at it. So she used to supply cookies for me all the time. They're not cheap. They're like $2. She would bag them,
Yeah,
decorate them however
they're
I wanted,
custom.
custom.
Yeah.
Like it was great. But she couldn't do real estate anymore because she was doing these cookies on the side. So she actually
Yeah.
her challenge became, do I even want to do what I'm doing, or do I want to go and branch out and do something completely different? Which is a whole nother option, right? Like, she could have just kept doing her real estate on the side and doing this, but she decided, you know what, this is going to take my entire being. This is going to take everything that I've got, focus, put it into it. And she just walked away. Right. She said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like the business. I don't like some of the things that go on in it. It's not my
Mhm.
cup of tea. And she just walked away and said, I'm going to start this business.
Well, that's actually a really cool side of 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 running your own business is when you're forced to do all these different things,
Yeah.
marketing and this and that, the other. I think you sometimes find something that
That you're
lights your fire that you didn't
100%.
expect,
Yep.
right? And you actually, as soon as you were talking about that, I've seen that in my industry with people who do like marketing with whatever mortgage brokers. They're like, we run a marketing agency for more like mortgage brokers, agents, whatever it is. We show you how to do blah 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 blah. I know for a fact, like a good chunk of them, or a few of them I can think of, they started as brokers or they're still actively licensed, right? They started doing this for themselves,
Yeah.
found they loved it. There's one person specifically, and she's kind of turned this into like not an empire, but she's got a whole separate company now
Oh,
where
really?
she was like a pretty big broker.
Yeah.
Now she does social media and she ended up building her own like CRM and this and that. She's huge into the AI.
Huh.
But it like again, she may have never found this had she not had
Thank
to
God.
wear 10,000 different hats.
100%. And I think that's important because, like when you're forced into learning something, like you said, that whole mentality that, you know what, how many times you wake up in the morning and go, I don't want to adult today.
Mhm, mhm,
Right.
mhm.
Because that's just a sign of that you're frustrated with whatever you're
Something going
doing,
on.
something
Yep.
in your life. And then so you're frustrated. And then all of a sudden, you're going to go and do something different today. And how many times you said, you know what, I'm walking away from today. I'm going to go and do this.
Yeah, I need a
Right.
reset.
I'm going to reset.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And
yeah.
with that reset, it sometimes brings, opportunities that you would never, ever
Mhm,
have ever thought you would have. When I have bought both the brokerages that I bought, well, three now, but the second two were literally by circumstance. Like I just happened to be in the
yeah.
right place at the right time, having the right conversation, and they became projects for me, right? So the next project for me was, well, okay, I'm going to buy this brokerage, but it's going to have 19 different
Mhm.
projects
Subtasks.
subtasks in it. So what do? That's when you start to bring in the outside people and put together your team, right? Like I do it with golf tournaments. I bring in people to go out and collect and elicit prizes, and I do the point communication and the organization, but they do the legwork for me.
Interesting.
And so sometimes it's about assigning those tasks, even within your own organization. Those projects really test your ability to delegate and leadership, and that's another aspect of it, right? Like, it's projects and the challenges that come with projects, they're always there, right? No matter what. But how you delegate out those tasks is huge, because I'm one of those guys. I am not great at delegating, and I'll be honest with you. It's
I don't think there's a lot of people who are.
well, I don't know. Like, um, the lawyers upstairs, they're all great at it. They use their legal secretaries like crazy, and their legal secretaries are very good at what they
Yeah, but
do.
I think that's also sometimes the system you were plugged into,
Maybe.
right? Or the system you came up in.
Yep.
I think with you guys, you really are a
Oh yeah.
solopreneur for the most part.
Yep.
And then you're given these additional tools, but not necessarily taught how to use them.
Oh, I think that's a whole different subject in learning how to use the tools that we're given. We don't. I mean, we're given so many tools as realtors that like it's infinite. Like, and each one of those setting one up. So, for example, if you want to set up a drip campaign,
Mhm,
I got to set up in our CRM for the agents that you could do a drip campaign in 15 minutes, right? If you've got the content,
mhm.
they don't take long to create. The problem is that you got to get people to adopt it, right? So the project for me is, okay, not only do I have to build the content,
Mhm.
I then have to convince these people that it's in their best interest to log into the system and use the content. So you're a creator and then you're an implementer because you've got to get these people to do it.
Mhm.
So you're back to wearing multiple hats
And a marketer
on
and
one
mhm.
project, right? So in one project, you can wear 6 different hats.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like for your Monday stuff, you should do a walkthrough of setting it up for them
of this?
for the drip campaign.
Oh, oh yeah. So I've got a video. They've got a video for it on our portal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done training sessions. I do them all the time. But you know what it is? It's a lot of realtors. I don't know whether a lot. I think top producing realtors are struggle with this aspect of it because they are always out doing the money generating stuff,
Mhm.
right? And organization is not necessarily their specialty.
Well,
If
I
you
guess
try,
you've also gotta then put the time into finding somebody,
yeah, yeah,
right? So if you're having to find somebody for every project, every a different person, you've gotta bite the bullet one time.
yep, that was me. That was me yesterday. As I was just, spending the money, like, "Oh, get me the new tech. I don't wanna worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I need this
I
done.
need this done."
Yeah.
And I point blank because I had both the guys on the phone. I said to them, "I leave on July 24th. This has to be up and running,
Mhm. And I
installed,
have to understand it.
and I have to understand it before the
Yeah.
24th. And if not, while I'm away, you're going to be monitoring my tech for me." It's that simple,
Yeah.
right? Like, so like projects can be consuming,
Mhm.
I think is one of the bigger fears. And I think time management within them is usually where it goes off the rails. Like I said, I can't remember who I messaged. We were as Wednesday and we were doing the first round of installations on the phones and nothing worked. Like other than the few phones at Lake Street, I got nowhere because of these cordless phones.
Yeah.
I messaged Jackie and I said, I have spent the last basically month
Mhm.
organizing this. I had this laid out to a T, one hiccup, and my schedule was blown out of the water for the
You
week.
just wasted a month.
Well, it's not even that I wasted a month. It's, like when you're doing the organization on a project like this, it's an hour here, an hour there, like it's not like I'm sitting working on it for 40 hours in the week, but I had dedicated Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week to have the entire company's phone
Yeah.
system switched over. One hiccup, and sometimes it's beyond your control. Like I had the phone companies down in the West say, "You're not getting your phone numbers." And we were like, "Yeah, we are. They're ours. You don't get to keep them." And it took us 3 days
What do you mean they said you're not getting your phone numbers?
because they believed that they owned the phone numbers because of the way their contracts are, and they were just out to lunch. But I find that a lot of stuff in small town Ontario right now is that kind of way. I am struggling to deal with small town stuff. It is absurd. I've been paying hundreds of dollars a month in long distance charges between my offices. Long distance charges in the province of
Those
Ontario.
exist?
Yeah. Like to the point, I think last month was just over $400. That's my whole new phone system in a month.
Whoa.
They were charging me long distance. Just so to give you an idea, like, I mean, I don't want to talk numbers, but give you an idea, I'm probably going to save $25,000 a year with this switch.
Jeez.
That cost me 2,500 bucks. And that's just that, that is bringing everything into one,
Mhm.
scalability. I can now add, instead of adding a new phone system, I can add trunks to it. So we buy another brokerage, for example, we expand into another market, whatever the case may be. I can call my guy and say, I need 3 more SIP trunks.
Done.
Done.
In.
30 seconds.
Plugged in.
Plugged in. Here's your phone number. Or do you have a phone number? We'll port it over and you're ready to go. Pick up
Mm.
the phone, dial 1306, I get so and so. Dial 1308, I get so and so. And that project has learned, I've learned so much about phone systems and tech in the last 72 hours, but that goes back to it, right? Like you're always learning
Yeah.
and trying to, okay, how can I use this? How can I manipulate this? How can I, prevent hackers and stuff like this? Because the new system we've got, you can regionally block. So if you want to block Iran, Iraq, China, North Korea, all those hackers, you can block those regions now in my tech.
For an
Just
IP
going
address or whatever.
click, 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 pick the country,
Hmm.
right? Once you block an IP address, it's blocked. They can't get in. They cannot get around it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you learn that kind of stuff, right? And you become like this. You have this general knowledge,
Uh-huh.
right? As opposed to being an expert. And I think that's where, I struggle because I want to be an expert in everything that I
Mm,
do, that I
yeah.
read and I learn. And there's just not enough hours in a
No.
day, right? Like and I got clients and, you've got clients and, you want to implement stuff. And I think I think it's great that you implement stuff because I think you're at the point you're so young in
Mhm.
your career that whatever you implement now and the fact that you're into implementing stuff because I know realtors, I know mortgage brokers, I know mortgage agents that but fly by the seat of their pants. Right? Like they don't have a system in place. They don't know, I sent out a video to everybody the other day about your high fives. I don't know if I sent it to you.
I don't know if I saw that.
Call 5 new people a
Oh.
day, 5 repeat or 5 past clients, and 5, people in your sphere of influence.
Mhm.
That's your call list for a day. Do it 5 days a week, you've hit your numbers.
Mhm.
And, you know, if agents were to set that as their priority, get that out of the way first thing in the morning,
Mhm.
whatever time block it, however they wanna, manage it, they would have more time to do the other projects. But what happens is they get up in the morning and they go, "I gotta do this."
Right.
I gotta do that. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And they get drawn away from what they really want, where they started.
Well, I also think the nature of our industry is sometimes making those high five calls or whatever you call them. You get the one phone call that
Business.
turns into business, but it also derails the rest of your day,
Oh, 100%.
right?
Yep.
Or in the middle of it all, you get a fire,
Yep.
meaning
The deal's
something.
not going right the way it's
Exactly.
supposed to. Yep.
Something's not going right. Something has broken down in some capacity. And so you've got to just put pause on everything.
So, okay. So that's time management. Okay. And to me, and this is where, okay, we're getting away
From project.
project, but here's my take on that. Unless that solution is found in 5 minutes, do not take on that challenge at the immediate time. So somebody calls you and says, this file's going sideways. Okay. I'm busy right now.
Mhm.
I've got this. I'm working on something right now. Why does that fire
Supersede what I'm doing.
supersede what I'm doing? In all likelihood, what you're going to fix is not fixable
In
in
5
that moment.
It's funny you say that because I've actually started to well, I was talking to Sue this week about something. I hadn't talked to her all week. We just caught up yesterday,
Yeah.
and she's like, "How's the week been?" And I was like, "Oh, this and this is going sideways, but, like, I'm just unfazed." Um, and she was like, "Okay." And I'm starting to realize when those call it an email or a phone call comes in,
Yep.
you hit the nail on the head. You can't fix it often in that moment.
No, you can't.
It's not like you have the magic solution that you can say, here's my trump card.
Yeah.
I win."
Yeah.
And that's very interesting that you say just it's almost like focus actually.
Yeah.
It's just focus on what you're doing. This problem is going to be there, and if it takes you 40 minutes to get there,
Yep.
well,
I'll come back.
you'll still get there, but at least then you've completed your task of
You've gotten something off your list.
but even it's I love what you just said because we talk about avoiding this.
Yeah.
So if those phone calls are what's going to keep you from going like this and avoid these troughs and
Yep.
peaks of whatever of business growth, get it done, you'll feel better, and then put all of your focus into the second task.
Yeah. So we get pulled with projects all over the place, right? So whether your day and your day is basically a bunch of projects, right? A client is a project,
Yeah.
right? Like no matter what you're working on, it's basically a project,
Mhm.
right? And no matter which way you look at it. So how do you say that this project is more important than this project, right? Now there are going to be certain
Yeah,
circumstances where
that dictate the
that's going to
urgency.
dictate that you can't control it, right?
Yep.
Like it's just the way it is. But I would challenge everybody if they said this project is pulling me away to step back from it and come back to it. right? You hear there's a problem. Okay, so you get that phone call, you guys in particular, this
Mhm.
file's going sideways.
Mhm.
The you got for example, you got a mortgage commitment.
Mhm.
The underwriter starts,
Mhm.
looking at the file. He's okay with it.
All of a
Now
sudden,
the
there's a
now
vehicle
now all of a
payment.
sudden the doc guy's getting a hold of it, and the doc guy finds
Mhm.
something. Okay, everybody freaks out. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Mhm.
What are we gonna do? And then you send, let's say you send off your response, and now you're sitting waiting.
Yes.
Well, where's the response back from that person? I gave my response. I want my response back. And now you've been pulled away, and your whole
Your
time
focus has been pulled as well.
completely
Yeah.
focused on you have completely unfocused yourself. And now you're not only wasting time waiting, but you're losing time on another project that you could be doing. Right. So it becomes ineffective use of your time. So those projects actually end up hurting you because you're not prioritizing. And I think prioritizing is huge when you're doing anything in your business. It has to make sense, the timing and the order that you're doing it, right? So, for example, I'm the perfect example of this right now. Should I have had a golf tournament
The week
the
before you
week
leave?
before I go on a 3.5 week vacation? No,
Ugh.
100% no.
Mhm.
It took me doing it
Mhm.
to realize I was an idiot
Mhm.
and I shouldn't have done it. And I should have booked it for, September
Yep.
when we had time. That was forethought. I wanted to get it done so that there wasn't something that I had to come back to worry about. That was the reason why I did it when I did. Now doing it, uh-uh. We're going to be a September golf tournament every year from here on out. It is too busy in the summertime
With everything going on and
with
people
everything
away.
going on, trying to get people
Yeah.
because they're trying to, especially parents are trying to get kids, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah, spend time with their kids. Do it in September. The kids back to school. You don't have to worry about it so much anymore, right? So those projects that we react to really are things that we are kind of our own worst enemy with, right? As opposed to saying, "Mm-mm,
Mhm.
you're not taking away from me today, right? Unless you've got a COF condition that's
Yeah.
due at 6 o'clock and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and everything's going
But
sideways.
like you said, there are those times when it's like, this one actually is
100%.
DEFCON whatever.
Yeah, every once in a while you've got DEFCON 5, right? But here's the thing: 99% of the time, if you walk away and come back to it, you're going to come back with a clearer head, a better
Yeah.
answer, and you're not going to be as stressed.
Yeah, and I think, even when I think about myself, I go, "Well, my bandwidth isn't split between this task that is still open,
Yeah.
like a desktop." You're like, "My bandwidth isn't running this task that I haven't quite completed while trying to focus on this." At that point, it's done, it's closed out,
Yeah.
you're zeroing in on one. Interesting.
And I think a lot of people have a hard time closing the task out.
Ugh.
I think that's the other thing with projects. When you get to really, really big projects, it's it becomes part of who you are for that time period, right? Like you get
Yeah.
consumed by
Mhm.
it and everything becomes about it. And I'm terrible for this. Once I get
That's
my
part of the
teeth in,
fun, though.
well, it is for me. Like I love talking about what we do. I love, I talk about this all the time. People think, "Oh, you got a podcast, you're full of crap." No, we got legit, like nobody's listening to us right now, but
Yeah.
we have a legit podcast going, and it took us months to get it done.
Mhm.
But it doesn't take away from me anymore because I know that this project gets this amount of time a week. I know
Mhm.
it's 3 4 hours in the studio, and then I know it's 3 4 hours at home. I now know that I'm 6 to 8 hours a week on this podcast. That's great.
Mhm.
I don't lose my mind about it anymore. Right. The first
Mainly 'cause it's working.
well, and I was just gonna say, think back to the first 2 3 weeks when we tried this and
You
that we
say
had
2,
nothing
3
but
weeks, that
fingers.
was like 2 months.
Don't stop. I'm trying to be optimistic here.
Mm.
Yeah, but we were frustrated,
Yeah.
right? And it ended up taking way more time. Instead of picking up the phone and saying, "Who do we know who can set us up?" We
Yeah.
spent a month doing, trying to learn how to do
In
it.
this scenario, we didn't have anybody to really call, and I think we ended up stumbling across a solution.
Yeah, yeah, it's called Apple. Let's leave it with Apple for the week. Yeah, so it's, that's a great conversation because to me, not enough people pay attention to the task at hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
So,
Okay, that's
right,
project.
that's projects, right? Next week we don't know what it's going to be.
Alright, we'll see you
We'll
later.
find out. Yeah, peace.
Bye.